So it was the scariest YouTube video I ever made, and I had to take it down. I had to take it off YouTube. It dealt with really evil. Some people were saying, are you talking about demons? Are you talking about, is that patient going to hell? I had to take the video down. This video that I put out had over 100,000 views, and it was really talking about a terrible situation in which a patient was enduring what I'm calling evil. And I had to take it down. I had to take it down off YouTube. And this is why. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Andrea O'Connor. If you haven't been to my channel yet, we love to talk about really interesting medical things, sometimes supernatural, and just really interesting things. So with this October series, I thought it was a good time to maybe talk about more of the creepy and the scary and sometimes the frightening side of medicine, healthcare, and just life, right? So a few months ago, I made a video, and those of you out there, 100,000 of you out there, saw this video, and I had to take it down off YouTube. It was just so frightening. I had to take it down, and I'm going to re-release it. I'm actually going to release the updated version, and it's going to come out tomorrow. So, hey, check out the next video. But the reason why I had to take it down was there were so many people commenting on, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing I've heard. How can you even talk about that? You're a doctor. What are you thinking? Some people were like, how dare you talk about a patient like that? Other people were just nasty things like that. It's almost if I personally attacked them. I just didn't understand what was going on. But then something else happened too. I started having things go on in my life. I was having really bad nightmares every single night in a row. Nightmares. I couldn't sleep well, and then I couldn't function at work the next day well. It was a really upsetting period of time. And an interesting thing happened, though. I started having doctors and other physicians sending me private emails, private messages. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're talking about this. Here's what happened to me. And if you guys have noticed, well, if you had the opportunity to see that original video and you saw some of those comments, a couple doctors even commented publicly. Yes, I've seen some things in my days in the ER or my days working hospice. And slowly people were telling their own stories based on what I had shared about evil being in a patient's room. And that it just stayed in my mind that even though I took the video down, I was like, I try to talk about the positive things and light and, God and spirits and things like that. But I felt kind of like a hypocrite, because how can you talk about goodness and light and the wonderful things on the other side, and that we do go on, and this is not the final for us. Our soul and spirit does move on. And I'm trying to say or share my stories of my 10 years working in hospice. I'm in family practice now. For those of you that are new to my channel, I no longer work in hospice, but 10 years, as there's an expiration date for everything in hospice, 10 years was enough, and I experienced some amazing things that solidified my belief in the other side. And I already believed in God, but it really solidified everything to me going through some of those experiences. So all of a sudden, when I share the opposite of light and good, the opposite of white is black, the opposite of black is white. There's up, there's down, there's good, there's evil. So as soon as I start talking about evil, oh my gosh, the amount of emails and backlash and comments I received, why is that so upsetting to people? I mean, this is just how it is. It's not always flowers and daisies in healthcare, and we're humans too. We have a right to have a full human experience and share that. Now, I was careful not to mention the patient's name. And by the way, this had happened over was it over 20 years ago, or at least 15 years ago, a very long time ago. And no facility name. I was really careful about that. So there was no HIPAA violations or anything like that. But why talking about evil or talking about the opposite of heaven, everyone has a meltdown? And it was interesting too, because I did receive a lot of positive feedback. Like, yes, here's what I experienced in my life, and here's what I know to be true. And I just loved it when dentists and doctors and nurses were responding and telling me their stories, whether it was on the comments or my emails to me. But some of the comments, the vitriol, the anger that I received, I'm trying to wrap my head around why that is, because I'm going to re-release the video. Now, I'm going to release an updated version. I'm not going to release the old one because from what I understand with YouTube, and maybe I'm wrong, but it had over 100,000 views. If I left that video out there, I suspect it would have done really well, but it wasn't worth the backlash I was getting in my life. But I've had a lot of time to think about it. And, and I believe in free speech. And if I'm being very careful and I'm not violating HIPAA and I'm talking about my true stories and being very careful that no one can identify what or who I'm talking about, then I think it's really important to share these stories. And comment below on what your opinion is, because I'm planning to release the updated version of the story tomorrow. And so this is kind of the preliminary get ready for it. And honestly, I just would like your feedback. I have some amazing channel members and viewers now that always have some just really great comments and input on their own. So I'd really like to hear from you guys. But I think the last thing that I'll add is when you take a video down from YouTube, the algorithm just kind of, if I try to re-release it, the algorithm won't pick it up again, because it's like you get a swoop up and then and then it just dies. So the channel would the video would just sit there dead. But again, I want to release the video so the message gets out there. And I'm just going to, I think I have a thicker skin now that I've put out a lot of videos on YouTube. And I feel like those of you watching me kind of understand what my channel's about at this point, that I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to share stories. And I think for this whole month, every day, I want to share stories and some spooky things, because 'tis the season of this, right? I think it's really important to share. So I thank you for being here. Tune in on my next video, because that's when I'm planning on re-releasing it, and would love to hear your comments about this. And if you were one of the original viewers of that video, was it a true story, or is this just a story? Only the original viewers of that video know the answer to this. So comment below. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.